What it is, y'all? What's going on, people? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. All right, y'all, listen. Before we get into this commentary, which is not going to be that long, thankfully, this video is 25 minutes long. So hopefully we'll be here for like 30, probably 45. I don't know. Depending on how this situation kind of flows. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Like I said before, you're gonna hear my heater in the background a little bit. I love sleeping in the cold. I don't know, it's just something weird about me. I need it to be cold, but I also like just that right little small tinge of heat. So you might hear it in the background. Hey Roki, can you hear me? If you can hear me, Roki, say yeah. I don't want to be too loud. Sound is good. Great, great. Thank you. Okay, like I said, we're not going to be here very long. Um, First of all, I want to give my roses because, like I've said in my previous commentaries regarding the LanceScurv show, when it comes to anything LGBT plus related, I've always said in the beginning that my commentary is never meant to denigrate. I'm not trying to unfairly criticize you. I'm not trying to assassinate your character. I'm not trying to be a troll or anything like that. But when you put certain things out onto public platforms for people to share, to consume, all these different type of things that come with social media and sharing your opinions and views and perspectives, there's going to always be people out there who are going to see things differently from you. And a lot of times when people see things differently from us, we automatically go into this whole defense mechanism. We try to do everything that we can to prevent ourselves from facing the actual truth and to see if that truth actually sticks, because what is true is going to be true. So going forward, I don't want to hear anything or it being interpreted in a certain type of way. If you want to believe that my commentary is interpreted some type of way out of ignorance and out of the fear to actually sit down and listen to my commentary, like I sit down and listen to your commentary, I'm letting you know where I'm coming from. And the people who will watch and who will listen will make the choice for themselves. So, anyway, today, y'all, we are here to give commentary to LanceScurv's latest video that he's uploaded entitled Blurring the Lines, okay? The Silent Media War on all things natural continues. Okay, there is the war on the natural order of life, according to LanceScurv and Team Scurv, and me as an individual who has been labeled to be against that. I'm just trying to have a conversation and to understand where y'all coming from so that it can make sense to everybody. And my previous commentaries, according to LanceScurv and his opinions, views, perspectives, I'm still confused. I'm not trying to be a troll or trying to be petty saying that I'm confused. I'm literally confused. Now, I watched and listened, shall I say, I listened to this commentary that he gave earlier today just to make sure that I could understand, because he used Van Jones and I think it's Noemi. That is girl. It's Miss NZ. Okay, Van Jones and NZ, and he was trying to tie that in, of course, with Anderson Cooper and his partner Benjamin Masani, and of course, how things are attacking the natural order. Okay, um. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into this. Okay, let's hear what LanceScurv has to say about this, and then we're going to offer our commentary and our critiques. Let me know in the comments what you think as well, if you can. I want to interact with you all in the chat. Um, and if there's anybody that comes over who happens to watch this video and happens to be in a space of disagreeing, we can learn to respect each other and still talk to each other and not at each other. So, as long as the commentary remains respectful, we cool. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, let's get into it, y'all. Let's hear what Lance Scurv say. What he say? This is what he said, y'all. Listen.
Welcome back, everyone. This is LanceScurv. Thank you for coming back to join me. I have a few thoughts on this day, and I got up this rising and grabbed my phone, not in a manner of search.
Oh shit! Hold on. I accidentally pressed the button, y'all, and changed the damn channel. Ha! Hold on, y'all. Let me get back to this. Was it this one? Yes, this was it. Now you were saying what, Land? Sorry, you said what?
Um, I looked at a few sites, and I wanted to come out in a relaxed way and create some content, as I always do. And I saw two articles that kind of resonated with me. Not that I favor them, but I saw where there was a connection which brought me to another thought. As you well know, when I speak about a topic, I don't just grab a topic and try to report on it. Most people do that. I try to grab something that I can see a different angle or perspective from what the masses of people are talking about, and I'll share it. But to go and echo the same thing that everybody else is saying, I'll just let the story go. If it doesn't touch me, I won't cover it. I'll let everybody else do that because it's like a pass around. After a while, it becomes redundant. You have so many YouTubers and content creators and writers just saying the same old thing. So I saw the story on TMZ. Van Jones, I think he's a CNN commentator, yeah, and an activist, right? And it caught me because he said, I have a new baby with my friend, conscious co-parents. I said, conscious co-parents. So let me look into this a little more because there's a lot of things that are dominating the whole internet cyber world where we're thinking about sports, we're just thinking about celebrities, we're thinking about things that really have nothing to do with us, but it's like junk food for the mind. Well, I'm not knocking because
Now
you're
I
a
will
boxing
agree.
fan.
I will
So
agree with that to some extent. I'm gonna have to break the commentary up too because this commentary is protected by, I forgot what copyright it is, but it's in the description. Okay, this is critiquing fair use. Okay, I'm not stealing your stuff. I'm just giving my commentary on what it is that you're sharing. Now I do agree with what you said. The world we live in today is distracted. The world we live in today is a lot, not all, but a lot of the world is hurt, broken, used, abused, and confused, and don't know how to heal from that. So therefore, hurt people hurt people. And for the people who just don't have the strength to face their fears, they choose to remain ignorant by choosing to be distracted, and that's why all these things happen. Now, you do mention about how there are people, there are powers that be that are nefarious, that are evil, that do not care about life in general, no matter how the life is created or the life is brought into this world or is expressed, just don't care for it. They have a certain type of mentality and they have power and persuasion, and they use news media outlets to control certain type of narratives. I'm not going to argue with you about that. You are absolutely right. There are some people that are in positions of power who do that. But the issue is when it then becomes a broad generalization and you say a particular group of people do that. That's where I have the issue at, because that is not the case. Okay. Let's listen further to more of the commentary. And whoever's still in here, shout out to
it'd
you.
be hard to give up. I could, but it's more so the business of boxing behind the scenes, how they lie and cheat and steal and cutthroat, but they still work together. But this particular article, I'm going to read a paragraph or two, and this is off of TMZ. And it says Van Jones is taking progressive to a new level. The activist and CNN commentator is a proud new dad, and he and the baby's mother just might inspire a whole new movement in parenting. Van tells TMZ, after the COVID lockdown, I got clear that I wanted another kid. I discovered that my friend Noemi also wanted a baby. So we decided to join forces and become conscious co parents. It's a concept that I hope more people will explore and consider. He continues, this month we welcome to Earth a baby girl, whom we will raise as co parenting partners. This is a special time for our families. I feel grateful, joyful, and blessed. Now, sources connected to Van tell us the mother's full name is Noemi Zamakona. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And they've been friends through a shared interest in criminal justice advocacy for several years. In fact, We're told the decision to have a child together was literally made over a friendly meal. You know what they say about friends in need. One source described Noemi and Van's current relationship
No tea,
this
no
way.
shade. I
It's
know
a
you
very
said about,
modern
that's a
arrangement.
shady comment they put in there talking about with friends in need made over a family, a friendly meal. How many children are in the world now who have been here over a friendly meal? A friendly meal from McDonald's, Burger King, White Castles, for the more expensive ones, Red Lobster, bougie ones. So I'm just trying to understand what that comparison came from that article. I'm like, huh? Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I just heard something different, and I want to share. Okay, let me shut up and get back to the commentary. Here we go.
They're not a couple, but they are a team that wants to raise a kid together. Van has two children from his previous marriage, and we're told this is Noemi's first child. Let me just apologize for any additional background noise that you might hear. I had to change locations because I was closest to the window
Ooh, Lord,
that
that
had the
that
construction
that
going
gray
on
noise,
next door.
static
So it
noise
was
in the
like
back,
really loud afterwards. So
white
I had to
noise.
cut it. But anyway, conscious parenting. Okay, let's pull it back a bit. Okay, because it's not always just about the actual story, but it's where we're going with this.
Right.
I always had this, I'll say theory, but to me, this is what I feel
Mm-hmm.
that the mainstream so called media is very much instrumental in shaping the minds of the masses. I mean,
True. True.
that's common sense.
True.
That's something that is quite obvious. And
That
if
is
you
true.
don't know it, you need to know it.
Right.
But
True.
it's in an engineered way. It's not done in a way where they're reporting stuff and it just happens. I feel that somewhere along the line in media, they realized how powerful they were
Right.
as far as their influence is concerned over the
Correct.
minds of the masses and getting them to be influenced to either vote this way or that way in an
Mm-hmm.
election or to demonize someone publicly who may not be guilty or as guilty of a crime. They
Mm-hmm.
want to slant something for an overall agenda. So, what is the
Mm-hmm.
overall agenda?
Yeah.
Well, I want to still speak about Van Jones, but I just want to say that the overall agenda these days, to me, is to blur the lines of all things that were traditional. And I don't mean just a mere tradition of something we do that's minimized. I'm talking about how things were made to be.
How things were made to be. Now, if you are watching, like if you were to go to his channel, which I do encourage you to go ahead and go to LanceScurv and subscribe to him because the brother is about community. He really is. I'm not no fake ass nigga. I'm not no fake ass nigga. I'm not a troll or nothing. I gotta honor and recognize real when I see it and when I hear it. LanceScurv is about community. He is about blackness, and I understand that he is imperative, especially in what he does on YouTube. He's imperative to a lot of these different type of conversations to heal blackness. But at the same time, just because you have good intentions about things, you don't know everything. There are other people in the community as well that might have information that you may not be privy of because of a certain perspective. And then when you allow them to come onto your platform or whatever you want to do in reference to having that conversation and finding that gray area, can actually offer something that can help the advancement of the black community. But you would never know that and experience that if you continue to look at things, which at the end of the day you have the right. I'm not telling you what to do. You do what you do because obviously what you've been doing for you has been working for you, and that's cool. But I'm just saying in reference to community is made up of individual people, and there are LGBT people of color who are part of that community who also want the black community that they're a part of as well, with that dualistic experience, to thrive as well. So you had Van Jones come in with Miss Noemi. Yeah, Miss No, that's gonna be her name, Miss N. You got Van Jones and Miss N coming together and saying, "Hey, you know what? I realized during the pandemic that I did a lot of work on myself, and I have so much self-love within me that I am able to make the conscious decision to say, you know what? I want another child. I was just happy and blessed to attract another friend of mine who's on the same level as me, that has the same level of accountability and awareness. And even though we might be afraid, we're willing to go through with it, just like every other parent that has went through it in the world, okay? Especially their first time parents. They don't know everything, but they're deciding to consciously come together, make sure that they're both in a good space. So much to the point to where it took just a friendly dinner for them to come to the conclusion that, yeah, let's do this. I'm ready for this because I'm mature. I got my shit together. I'm not asking for nobody. I ain't asking nobody for nothing. I'm not bumming off nobody for nothing. I have my own. I can provide for me. I have made the decision that I can provide for my child. I've attracted another person who feels the exact same way so that our child can be loved and can vibrate at the highest level of love that they can experience. They made that decision. Now that he has said that, this is the area where I'm getting some confusion because the common thing that I've seen when it came to LanceScurv and his commentary in reference to LGBT that is subliminal, okay, subliminal, is that whenever there's a conversation in reference to the destruction of the black family, the black community, the black dysphoria, I think that's what it's called, or what is is it diaphora? It's something, you know what I'm talking about. It's slipping my mind right now. But anything dealing with the advancement of blackness, the underlying theme has always been LGBT, and primarily, if you're gonna be real about it, feminine men. Anything dealing with femininity in a flamboyant or somewhat more dominant way out of a black male, there is an issue and a problem, and there is this sort of weird ass, dysfunctional ass type of hatred and curiosity that baffles me. And even if you look at the video here in the background, it says LanceScurv and it shows the Whore of Babylon card or whatever in the background and saying that gays play a part in that. And the question I've been asking this whole time is to make it make sense to where it's happening in the community. And if what you're saying is true, then something that you says has to hit my life and hit me in such a way to where it's like, wait a minute, hold on, wait. It has to hit, it has to be true. If what you're saying is true, it has to be true for me too, right? Because if we're having a broad generalization, that means everybody is like that. But all I'm saying is that if we're going to play the game of making sure that everybody is accountable, we have to also make sure that the heterosexual community is even more accountable because there's more of y'all than there are of us. And it's a shame we have to look at it that way, but that's the way that y'all have it set up. And unfortunately, we have to talk in the same terms and language so that you can understand what's going on, so that we can have a common ground of understanding. And I don't understand clearly what your problem, your issue is with LGBT. You ask some questions in this video, which we're going to get to. I'm going to play it in a second. That all these questions you have can be answered by people who are part of the LGBT plus community of color who are willing to answer them for you. The question is, and like I said before, are you going to drop the link? That's the one thing that I want to know. That's the main thing I want to know in the midst of all of this commentary. Is you going to drop the link or not? So we can have the real conversation. And I mean the real conversation. Anyway, let's continue with the commentary.
And it just seems like, again, I'm going to say it again, somewhere along the lines, somewhere out there, there's a hierarchy. And in that hierarchy of those who control the world, someone or something or some entity or some creature does not like the fact that we have a relationship with nature and all things natural, and it's their job to destroy that connection. Okay,
I agree with that.
So we go out into the fields, we have fruit, but they don't want us to eat that fruit. They want to offer GMO fruit and say it's better.
Yep.
You know, there's things that they push, agendas and lifestyles that don't bring life, but they want to skirt around the traditional thing that is 1,000% at its highest potency when done correctly.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm talking about traditional marriage. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
traditional male female relationships.
Mm.
That is so natural. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
But
Okay.
they want to skirt around it and do something different.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to also add that I had the article pulled up on my computer, but I had to come to this room. Um, I don't have my computer. I had my phone. The phone stuck. So I'm just going to wing it.
Damn.
You can Google
Everything
this
for the
on
proof is gone.
Anderson
Wow.
Cooper and his partner,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because we all know that Anderson Cooper is a homosexual male.
Yes,
So
he
it's
is.
another man. They have a child together that I
Mm-hmm.
believe was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, he has a new child, another son that's also adopted. And
Right.
he went to thank the family of that one who was a surrogate
Right.
and the love that they showed in having that child and support.
Right.
Okay, so they adopted the child. So it has nothing to do with either Anderson's sperm or maybe it did, right? Maybe that's what it is. But it's not the traditional means. And some people will get angry with me and say, "What do you mean traditional? It's love. And if they can raise a child, there's a whole lot to raising a child more so than just providing a roof over their head."
Correct.
And many will come against me for that and say, well, they have love between each other. They can transmit that love to the child and give it a loving environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's something that's just not connecting as far
But
as I'm
here's the
concerned.
thing that for me that I'm trying to understand. The love is there because love is enough. Love is all that there is, right? Love covers a multitude of things. Love is patient. Love is inclusive. Love finds a way to include you into the equation, even though you may feel like you don't belong in love's equation because of what other people have said, because of other people's unhealed past trauma that they're passing on to other people. And that's how you know love is real, because love shows up in spaces and places where your mind may not have the capacity to understand that it can thrive over there. But that's what real love does that. Real love does that. So I just love the fact that the main thing that is the most important thing in the equation for anything in life, which is love, how we passed it. But because that love wasn't given in the way that when you have said traditionally, it is traditionally. It is traditionally. Because if we're gonna be honest, according to history, in Africa and all other type of continents and ways of life, there have been people who have had multiple partners, multiple wives. It was a custom thing in that culture. That's why a lot of the Eastern cultures are more relaxed and more spiritual than us, and able to have more capacity for understanding than we do, because over here in the West, we're just now starting to delve into self-love, into supernatural, into spiritual aspects of ourselves and finding our way back. And Black people, we understand Mother Nature. Native Americans understood Mother Nature. There have been indigenous people who understand Mother Nature and how she works. And see, we are the ones that are trying to find our way back to this on some Beyonce-ish. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Like I said, there is some sort, and I don't think it has been addressed yet. I don't think it has been acknowledged yet. I don't even think that there's any light being shown on this. There is some sort of fear narrative here, and it's driven by a certain level of ignorance. And when I say ignorance, I don't mean ignorance in a damning way or a denigrating way or a way to over exaggerate your emotion. I mean your expression and how you show up in the world, your insecurities. But genuinely, I'm saying it because you simply just do not know. You do not know. And the fact that I've made countless videos, not countless videos, let me shut the hell up. I don't want to speak that into existence. But I've made a certain amount of videos in commentary, response to the commentary that you've given, and even showed up to one of your lives when I was on your domain, in your domain, on your turf, on your block, on your street, with all your peoples showing up in the lion's den. Whatever gonna happen, gonna happen. But hey, what's up? BubzDaGawd is here. What's going on? And I asked you to drop the link, and you didn't drop the link. That was a missed opportunity for some real transformative stuff to happen. And I'm not saying with just me exclusively. There are other people that are part of the LGBT plus community, right? Who are on the same level of vibration and higher than me. You can talk to a Conscious TV. You can talk to a Hope Giselle. You can talk to a Joseph Williams. You can talk to a T.S. Madison. Countless other people who are open and ready to have those real ass conversations that it seems like y'all don't want to have. Because like I said, if we're really going to talk about self-love for real, we have to hold ourselves accountable first before we start doing anything else outside of us. And like I said, Lance, you're a part of community. I can believe that. I know that you are. But there are always ways you can improve yourself. And I'm saying you're missing an opportunity for that to happen. Let me answer these questions real quick, and I'm going to go back to the video. Roki says, I have two questions. First, why does he care? Everybody, whether gay or straight, don't want to be married. That is true. But once again, this is from a traditional standpoint. And then trying to use nature to back up certain things. I mean, he can do that. That's perfectly fine. That's his level of understanding. But that's not the only way that God, Source Universe, shows up in the world. God, Source Universe shows up in multiple different ways. That's how you know it's God. That's how you know it's different. It operates sometimes in ways that you don't know. Because unlike you, God, Source Universe don't live in a box. Unlike us, God, Source Universe knows completely who it is. So much to the point that it's willing to allow this whole life human experience to happen, and for God, Source Universe to experience itself through these experiences. Which is why, as a same gender loving man of color, I can stand with confidence knowing who I am. And if more people actually stood in the confidence of who they are and walk in truth, and what I mean truth to the point to where it hurts and that it gets scary, that's when you know you walking in the truth, bitch. And when I say bitch, I ain't talking about you. This is my gay side coming out. Bitch is one of my favorite words, so it is what it is. And I'm proud of myself because I ain't really cuss as much in this stream, which shows that I know how to switch it off when I need to. But I feel like we can definitely make change if we take the time to talk to each other. And like I said, until you drop the link and we have that conversation, whatever happens afterwards, it's whatever. I won't make another video about you again unless you say something about me. Then that's different. That's cool. Well, that's not cool, but you know, it is. Yeah. But I'm just saying, we need to have that conversation so that as you go forward, as you meet people and your stuff, because even though you're older, you can still learn some stuff, sir. You don't know every damn thing, just like I don't. You don't know either. And ain't the next generation supposed to be smarter than y'all, more progressive than y'all, understand more things than y'all, be better than y'all? But then y'all feel some type of way when they be better than y'all. I mean, there comes a point in time where we gonna have to pick a struggle, not just struggle, but pick a struggle. All right, let me get back to this video.
Okay, you know, going back to Van Jones before I come back, because this is all about blurring the lines of all things traditional. Blurring the lines of all.
No, he ain't gonna. I think he probably did. I don't know, but not in this commentary, real key. As far as Nick Cannon,
not just a country or some culture that this is a tradition, but all things in nature. Because when you pull it back, I don't see a deer or a snake or an alligator or a rabbit or a cat or a dog celebrating Christmas.
That is true. But if you go on Facebook, you will see some lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, because they're friends now. You're going to see goddamn wolves being friends with chickens. You're going to see cats being friends with mice. I just seen a video of a bird be friends with a damn lion. I mean, nature is also showing us how it adapts and it changes. See, that's the thing. Nature not just set in her ways, in its ways. It's ever flowing. It's ever moving. It is ethereal and it's infinity and beyond on some Buzz Lightyear stuff. We are the ones that are trying to still go back and tap into Mother Nature, because Mother Nature shows up in all type of ways, not just one particular way that we're used to. Now, we're not saying when it comes down to birth and all that stuff, yes, we understand this. Two men cannot come together, two women cannot come together and procreate to create life. We understand that. We're not combating you on that. Okay? I'm trying to understand, why do y'all feel as if though the quote unquote natural way of birth, why do you feel like that's going to be overshadowed? I mean, there are babies coming into this world every day. I mean, look at the foster care system. A lot, see, motherfuckers don't mind making the babies, but they have a problem taking care of them. That's the issue and the problem. Why we ain't talking about that? And statistically speaking, when it comes to the LGBT plus community at large, fuck just black, but just together, we make up a very, 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 very small percentage of American society as a whole community. And then when you break it down into its subcultures and sub avenues and all that type of stuff, the number's even smaller. So I'm trying to understand where this overwhelming fear and all this stuff is coming from. Because once again, this is not making any sense to me. And I just want you to make it make sense, sir. It's the fact that they like to have, what you say? Let me post this comment. It's the fact that they like to have whole conventions about LGBT people, but don't want to give space for us to speak from our own experience. Of course, because like I said, there was a, and y'all can go back to it. I ended up catching one of his lives, and I was leaving with my sister and her girlfriend, cause my sister part of the community too. Hey, hey, I guess the agenda working, huh? Oh my god. Bitch, and her girlfriend, and we spent the whole weekend at this mansion, and we was just visualizing what we want our lives to be, which is why I know my shit finna pop off. You know what I'm saying? And we were leaving the mansion, and I caught the live, and I was in the live, and they were just in there saying all this stuff and just talking all this stuff. And then I came in, and then they showed my comment, and then they had stuff to say, and I said, "Well, just drop the link. I've been asking you to drop the link the whole time. I mean, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Let's talk. What am I gonna do? Like, if I get up and I'm a troll, you have the power to kick me off, right? I mean, you do. So it's like it's like I'm on your turf. So why you ain't drop the link though? I'm over here with y'all. What I'm gonna do to all of y'all? I'm walking in the lion's den, but ain't nobody barking. Ain't no lion running up though. That's what I'm trying to understand. So yes, it's weird to me that they have these open public forum conversations. I can understand if y'all was somewhere else. I can understand if y'all was by yourselves in secret having these conversations. I get that. But you're having these things publicly. So since you're having these conversations publicly, I'm trying to understand why y'all won't drop the link. Okay, let me go back to this video, and I'm gonna look at y'all comments again. Hold on.
I don't see them celebrating that bloody holiday they call Thanksgiving. I don't see them celebrating Valentine's Day. I don't see the animals jumping around talking about Happy New Year, right? Those are these traditions that we've adopted that has nothing to do with nature. But what I do see in nature is that when animals procreate, it's a male female thing. And they will say, there will be some naysayers that say, well, there are animals that have homosexual relationships. I don't know. I mean, what kind of creep would you have to be to run around animals trying to justify? What kind of study overall could be done?
I mean, maybe they just was out there and they saw it. I mean, that could be the point too. You know, the people that's out there, the ones that's risking their lives and shit, you know what I'm saying? About to possibly be get eaten by the lion and the pride and stuff. They have those things. I mean, there are people who do the research. Just because you ain't gonna do it, you think it's a creepy thing. There are some people who look at it in the way of science, which is from an unbiased, non-biased perspective. Okay? And they've came out with these things scientifically proven, since we're talking about science, right? I mean, these things are possible. They're possible. And if Mother Nature ain't want this shit, trust me, she ain't got no problem with not wanting that to happen on her back. Now, what you saying in the comments? Roki said, I've told the straight people in my life all the time that they can't speak in absolute knowledge about LGBT peoples because it's not their experience. That's like a white guy teaching black studies. And I've actually used that analogy before. And then here's the issue that's the funny part. When you say things like that, a lot of times, not all, but a lot of times people can find offense with that, especially being black. How dare you say that? That's not the same comparison. Yes, it is. I can look at it not only from a black experience that is a painful one, but I can also learn to detach myself from it and look at it objectively without my pain body and see what's really going on and how I can change it. How I can make it better for myself. And that's the funny part. If a white man did all that, lived in the hood, saw the black experience, made the black friends, had the black girlfriends, loved chocolate women, went to college, got a whole bachelor's and master's degree in African American studies. If he walked into that damn classroom and he walks up to the front of the class and put his fists up talking about Ashe or some shit like that, black people would feel some type of way, right? Because once again, even though you can understand the outward experience and the outward expressions of of um discrimination and being ostracized and demonized, villainized to the point to where hell, your life could be taken away from you simply on the grounds of a certain type of thing. You can understand that, but as far as the emotional feelings, the things on the inside, it's an entirely different type of feeling. But that's why we have to have these conversations, because see, we don't want to talk about these things because we don't want to feel uncomfortable and we don't want to feel like we're not part of the situation. Yes, we are. Even though things are happening outside of us, they continue to happen outside of us because we're not willing to change the shit on the inside of us. Which is why we are now becoming a house divided amongst each other. And a house divided is going to what? Fall. But that's okay, because you have people in the world like myself who are willing to call shit out, to ask the questions, to walk and have those difficult conversations, to try to figure out how can we get to a better place together. Because at this fucking point, we need each other. We need each other. We need to really be about community. And the sad part is that we about community when bad things happen. Well, what happens when you need community and the bad shit happens to a point to where now you can't come back from that? We're slowly but surely getting to that point energetically. So at this point, you either about community or you not. And I just want to know, I just want to know, who are the ones that are about community? The ones who are going to love themselves so much that they can look past these lines of division and say, bitch, there's got to be something in here for all of us. Those are the individuals that I'm talking to. All these other people, may God's source universe be with y'all. What we got? Okay, let me go back to this video. Here we go.
To say that these two males or two female animals, they're exclusive to each other. So you're telling me that animals could be monogamous like that, right? Maybe they can because there's nobody else around to hump on, right? I don't know, but that's taking
You say all that. Say, I don't know.
Bottom line of what I'm trying to say is that at this time, they're trying to blur the lines of all things traditional in nature. Now, with Van Jones, I kept an open mind. I'll keep an open mind even with Anderson Cooper. I can't see it, but I try to, and I did this a long time ago when they started coming out with this stuff between homosexuals.
Well, when you said that you can see it, but you don't understand, that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. That's what other people who are LGBT of color that are trying to get you to have that conversation are here for. That's God's grace, love, and mercy for everybody. You ain't got to have a conversation with an Anderson Cooper or a Benjamin Masani or anyone like that when you can have a conversation with somebody who understands the black struggle. You won't be able to use the white card against them. Somebody who understands you, who understands that same struggle and can call the things out and call a thing a thing. We here. We here. We just waiting for you to drop the link. That's all we doing.
Males and lesbian couples and whatever connection you want to have it. But I just can't see it that way. Yes, they can feed them, they can keep them under the roof, they can have nannies come in and give them love, but there's something at that point of development with that child when he comes up. It's going to be like, okay, you know what I mean? But the world that that child will relate to will be so marred over and twisted that even if it wasn't two men raising them, they might be confused anyway. We have a lot of children that come up in heterosexual, where their parents are heterosexuals, right? Mother and father,
Right.
and they're still confused because of what's pushed on the minds of these children.
See, and that's the thing. That's a broad generalized statement. I come from a heterosexual household. My mother and father, okay, been together. Well, they've been married for 36 years, been together as far as relationship wise for like 40 something. I've seen them show PDA. I've seen them do all these things in reference to love. And they not only just show that love, that romantic type of love in reference to somebody honoring you and cherishing you and seeing you as an equal addition to their life, not as an object, but to see you for more than just your body, but to see you for your mind, your spirit, and your soul on all levels, which is a fluid thing. But I saw it through my parents. My sister, she's had more successful relationships than me because a lot of black gay men is her, and I was one of them until I got my life together. Okay. But she's had successful relationships that were loving, that had longevity, that were genuine, and that were honest. Even though I didn't have many successful relationships, I still offered a love that was genuine, authentic, and honest because I saw what it looked like. It's just that that love was expressed through my mother and my father. And it's so funny that we say that LGBT people are confused when LGBT people are not confused. They're afraid of the reality of what could happen to them because of other people's confusion and ignorance, because they don't know, because they're not gay, and they're not even willing to try to understand where they're coming from because it's too much. But then you want people to understand you. I want you to make that make sense to me because I don't get it. And that's what I'm saying. You are in proximity, sir, to people who all these contradictions that you have and all these reasons and ways that you've been told to believe that LGBT people are made and how it's pushed on the minds and all this stuff, you are able to be in proximity to individuals who have not had those things happen to them, who lived a quote unquote natural family life and still understood, except the fact that they were gay, worked through that and was able to have a healthy outlook and perspective on it. You have us right here next to you to have those conversations. But again, it's about dropping the link. Okay, y'all, it's about to be 40 something minutes. Let me, Lord, we only 10 minutes in. Let me stop playing. Let me read some of these comments and then we're going to listen to the video. And I'm going to try my best to get this over with before an hour. I'm going to try. What you say? Hold on. Neri said, men like him don't want a face-to-face debate with anyone in the LGBT community, especially if they know what they're talking about, especially if they know who they are, because they're used to having conversations with broken ones who are hurt and don't deal with their pain, and then it's easy for them to manipulate them. Can't do that with everybody. You know, it comes a point in time where, guess what? You're going to have to face it. And so is marriage, okay? Can we talk about the origins of marriage? You want to talk about what kind of creep? The root purpose of a marriage is literally a family selling their daughter off to a man. But see, we don't do the research. We don't do the research. Now, I'm glad that we found a way to transmute that and to make that something fruitful and life-giving for people who do want to be monogamous, because I am a monogamous person. I do want to have a relationship with one person. But there are other people in the world to where their mind, their level of awareness is just so different to where they have the capacity to love more than one person. Because if you look back once again in history, not just in Africa, but all over the world, there's been kings and queens that had damn husbands, wives, harem of people, just a whole lot of people who have the capacity to do that. But once again, we have a choice on what it is that we want to do. Okay? You can't feel some type of way because there are some people who have an alternate viewpoint than you. It doesn't mean that yours is overlooked or is old. It's just that there are some people who are looking at certain things and doing things that work for them. Because once they realize what works for them and they're able to show up in their best life, they're going to show up genuine, authentic, and happy. Then they'll be able to spread that love out into the universe, to the outside world. So we're talking about spiritual stuff, and to be able to implement seeds of change and love in people's minds. That's what's happening. Okay? Now let's get back to the video.
Now, pro and con, which that's not my argument with Anderson Cooper. I'm not even going to waste my time, right? Leave your opinions and comments below.
Yeah, that would be a waste
but
of time.
With Van Jones
time to waste.
And his friend, right? It makes sense in a way, but there's something missing with that. Okay? And this is not going to be long. I sincerely want your commentary and your opinion on it.
Yeah, it's not going to be long because these are heterosexual people, so you're not going to give them all the smoke. You're going to say that for the homosexuals. You know, Van Jones and Miss N, they're not gonna get the smoke because they're still heterosexual. Maybe let's listen to what he says. Let's listen to his explanation. That's easier for him to understand that, but yet so difficult for him to understand that in reference to Anderson Cooper and his partner.
Yes. Bottom line is that they're friends. They decided to have a child together. To me, it's like a project. They both wanted this, but they're actually not a couple. When they said that in the article, I take it with they're not a committed couple. Like we're together emotionally. We're together. We made a commitment to each other. And the child is something that has sprung forth from our commitment of love to each other. There's something missing with this. Now, the fact that they are friends and they have decided to do this, that's a plus. Because how many people are screwing around without the intention of creating a child or creating the environment for a child?
True.
And just happen to have a child and then patch it up later on.
Right.
And we have some who go around having children with so many different people. And that creates an issue also. I'm not knocking those who are single mothers because it's only the mother who can have a child, right? But I'm not knocking those, but this is what happens. It would be so much better. The idea would be a committed man and a committed woman and a committed relationship to each other. And the child comes into a union that is 100% vibrating full, complete.
Okay, so they're vibrating full and complete from the commitment aspect. The fact of choosing and saying, you know what, everything ain't going to be good. There are going to be some times where I might want to divorce your ass. And there might come a time to where they have to learn to love themselves so much to where they have to remove themselves. And that can hurt too. But like you said, in order to vibrate at the highest level, both partners have to come into the situation clear-headed with a sort of conscious and understanding of what it is that they want to manifest and then deal with the accountability and responsibility. And that is not something that is just exclusive to heterosexual people and heterosexual families and heterosexual sex and heterosexual love. It's love in general. It's just being expressed through those channels. We're talking about something energetic here. We're talking about something that transcends humanity and physical. We're talking about things that are mental, emotional, and spiritual. That's what we're talking about. That crosses all type of borders, that crosses all type of lines. And yes, love does blur the lines because love, once again, includes people. But there are just some people who are so used to one sort of perspective that they think that is gospel. It can be gospel to you, but it doesn't mean it has to be gospel to everybody else as well. Back to the video.
Neither here nor there. Let's look at it then. Van Jones. They're friends. They're committed to the child. That is better than a lot of unions where two people just happen to have sex and it's circumstantial that the child came and they don't give a damn about the child. And when they're when their little fling is over,
Mm-hmm.
when their little lust fest is over,
Right.
or the lie that they told themselves that when they were indulging in sex that, oh, we love each other,
Mm-hmm.
it was more lust. The child suffers when the parent goes or when the parent leaves
Mm-hmm.
because they can't deal with the parent anymore.
Mm.
So as far as Van Jones' relationship with his friend and decision to have a child, that may go a lot longer than the lust-driven relationship, which we have to recuperate from and have these negative emotions.
Okay, are we talking about manifesting something that lasts longer, or are we talking about something that's gonna last forever? What conversation we having? Or could we have a conversation that everything comes to an end? Everything comes to an end. But before that end comes, can we at least enjoy the moment and make the best of this situation? Because yes, there are people who have been born out of different type of circumstances that brought forth life that they weren't prepared for. There are some people who give them up, just like the adoption agency. And then there are people who actually see worth and value in these children that these original people who are supposed to be vibrating in this higher level of frequency and love were supposed to take care of and did not. And then on top of that, there are people who are in high vibrating relationships and marriages for 15 years. And one day after 15 years, something happens to where I'm no longer in love with you because life just happens like that. See, we're trying to find this fixed type of perspective and way that we think love is going to show up, as opposed to just allowing love to just show the hell up and do its damn job. No, I'm not gonna lie, he just backpedaled and put, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but that's why we also listen to the commentary too. We listen to them to understand what's going on, and then I try to find a way to make it apprehensive to myself, to the people that's listening, and then once again I offer myself up as far as opportunity and time to actually come on the platform because he does say that he wants to have a live about this, and if he does, I want to find out what time, and I want to show up, and I want to have a conversation. Like, drop the link, let's talk about it. And let's not just talk about it, let's be about it too. Okay. A few minutes earlier, he was just talking about tradition and the breakdown of tradition. What you say, Roki? From what he just said, this literally also implies to LGBT families. If both parents oh shit, hold on, who's calling me? Okay. If both parents being committed to the child creates the highest vibration, why does the gender matter? Because once again, it's based off of what he's seen, which I'm not knocking or trying to knock his perspective because his perspective is valid. He has a right to feel how he wants to feel. But what I'm saying is, okay, how can we take what you feel and what you believe and what other people believe in reference to community building and actually do that community building, build the community? But see, that's okay because whether he wants to believe it or not, God, source, universe, mother nature, in the infinite wisdom that is higher than ours, okay, already understands what's going on and first of all is allowing it to happen and in your face. And you know why it's happening in your face the way that y'all saying it's happening in your face is because what you resist is going to always persist. See, when you because see, love is a very strong energy when it comes to manifesting things. But love, in my opinion, is a better way to manifest things because it's not only for you, it's so overwhelming and so abundant and overflowing that you can actually share that love with other people. But fear is on the opposite spectrum of love and also attracts too. And to be honest, sometimes it could be attracted faster. Because when it comes to fear, we'll put all of our energy and effort into fear. And when you do it for so long, that becomes a part of your identity. And then when you go out into the world and your identity is challenged based off of how you show up in the world, it just shows how strong or how underdeveloped you are emotionally and mentally to handle the situation because life is just going to do that to you. And we can't sit here and get mad at LGBT people when LGBT people show up in the world as they are, despite what people are going to think and believe. And to me, sometimes I feel like there's a hint of jealousy there, a level of awareness and freedom that you get to choose, even though I don't have to really wait for someone outside of me to validate that. Bitch, I am me. I am who I am. That is a very strong level of awareness, but also a very frightening one. Because when you walk in the world and your light shines so bright, other people can't handle your light. And that's not my problem. Either you put on some damn UV eclipse sunglasses or you check your bulb. Your bulb. You say it right, bulb. All right, y'all, let's get back to this damn video.
You're just like your daddy. You're just like this. You're no good. He's no good. Well, the drawback from what I see is that they're not committed. It's like a science project.
Wow.
It's like, so let's decide to do this and this, and this is our pet. I don't know. Maybe they don't feel that way. But it just seems like they're constructing something, but they're fully committed and they're not delusional thinking that this is going to be something. Hopefully, they move beyond friends and provide something a little more, that heart and soul of a home, that thing that warms the child's heart over. I used to love it when I saw my mother and father embrace.
Right.
I used to love it when I saw my father kiss my mother. I used to love it when they were relaxing and you'd see my mother watching TV with my father and she's rubbing his head or stroking his face, and they were getting up in age.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love to see that. That did something to me, that validated me, that made me feel a certain way within my heart.
Right.
And we have too many children that come up not seeing the parents get along well like that.
True.
They're arguing, or there's just some cold, distant, non-emotional feeling where the child feels like a pet. Well, if a child feels that way, how can they come up feeling the same thing that that was always elusive to them? That they don't know. So you have husbands and wives who think it's strange when they're with someone who came up in a loving environment and they try to show them that love, that embrace, that, and it's like, oh, get away from me. They're not used to it. It's icky. It's something different. They have been, how could I say it? I can't say they're flawed because they never, but it's a spiritual and emotional malnourishment that they went through in those formative years, and they just can't see it. So when they get older, they raise their kids the same way. Right. But the kids have emotions, but their parent didn't. They didn't know how to express it. Something's missing. So when that child of Van Jones comes into the world, right, then what's going to happen with them? What's going to happen with that child looking to the parents to be, it's just, okay, my mother loves me, my father loves me, they made me, but they're not together.
Okay, and since I can understand that, because there are children that, yes, they do want their family to be together, because what it looks like, all those things, but most importantly, it's the love that is being shown. It's the love. And when you ask that question, like, what's going to happen? Like, it's the end of a damn Dragon Ball Z episode. Will Van Jones and Miss N have the babies before the homosexuals come through and arrive? Find out next week on, you know what I'm saying? Asking, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? They're willing to take that risk. Be glad that they're aware in that. Because like you said, there's a lot of parents or people who weren't ready to be parents who are now struggling to figure things out while trying to figure their shit out. At least Van Jones and Miss N during the whole situation with 2020, when everybody was sitting down, used that time constructively. Not saying you didn't, but I'm just saying they used it in a constructive way to deal with how they feel on the inside, right? They did the work. They did shadow work. They faced their insecurities and their fears and transcended those things to the point to where they're showing up in the world. Damn, I'm ready to show up as a daddy, but also decided to do something with someone else who said I was ready to show up as a mom, and to be able to have that mutual understanding. Will it work out? We don't know, but at least they have the accountability. And then on top of it, if it don't work out, are you going to adopt a child? Are you going to send the child money? Are you going to create a GoFundMe account about that child? Just, oh my God, Van Jones and Miss N's child is just so distraught and messed up. Y'all, we need to save the children. What about the children? See, that's the thing. What about the children? Y'all talk about the children, but then when it's time to deal with the children, y'all don't want to deal with the children. There's a problem here. There's an issue here. Like it said in the comments, it's a lot of backpedaling and hopping. It's a lot of it. Let's continue with the commentary.
It's just something missing. You need that home. Now, in Anderson Cooper's case, I'm quite sure there's going to be a home, but it's two men. And some
Wow.
people are just going to get mad at me for, well, why? They can show him love. They can provide. And I'm quite sure he's loaded and the partner's loaded. But that female energy that you knew you're coming from, and I'm quite sure they'll let them know eventually, like, okay, this is the womb you came out of, and they're going to show them love. But it's just, they're not going to vibrate 100%.
Wow.
It's nothing like a mother and a father and a home, and they're pulling together and they love each other.
Right.
And you know your parents love each other, and you know your parents are together. Till transition do them part. And they're really not going to be apart. There's more to this thing on a spiritual level. That when you're married and committed with a person and they transition, it's not ended right there. They love you and you love them no matter where they are.
Right.
No matter what level they're on. And love can't be broken. Love can't be destroyed. True love and commitment. They're easing these different options and pushing it.
Wow.
In the news, in the media. But the minute that some famous rapper has a problem with his girlfriend or one of his many girlfriends, they push the dysfunction to repel us from really feeling like, wow, I want to get into a relationship. Now, most people these days that are coming up, especially the younger generation, there's still some who want to do what's traditionally nature or natural. But there's some people coming up now, youngsters, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be committed. I just want to live my life. And when they get to a certain age, after a couple of babies and no fathers around, all of a sudden they'll say, oh, I think I'm ready to walk down the aisle. Well, who's going to walk down the aisle with you? Who's going to do it? It's a lot harder, especially for Black women at a certain age. And you get to a certain age and the numbers and the probability gets to be even more challenging. I mean, you could pick up anybody and have sex with them. You can pick up anybody or meet anybody and bring them home with you and say, we're together, and just say, just for the sake of patching up a jacked up life, finding any old person to say that you're settling down with them and there's no real connection. We can do that. You can put a Band-Aid, a patch over a gunshot wound and say you're okay. It doesn't mean that you are. Just tell me this. Okay. Do you think that these unions vibrate just as high as the other unions, the traditional, natural unions? Do you think so? Do you think there's something complete and whole when you have a man and a woman who are committed to each other, who marry each other? And it's not even about the piece of paper.
What y'all think in the comments?
Because some people say, yeah, we're married, but I'm talking
what y'all think in the comments. Let me know.
So high. And you do happen to go and say, okay, we'll get the piece of paper for the legal protection that comes with it. Why wouldn't a man want the legal protection for his wife that if he passes away, that she won't have a problem to inherit and get all that they built together without any kind of resistance? Or say, for example, you're a woman, you have 2 children with this man and you're living with him and he's living with you, but there's another woman who has 3 or 4 kids with this man and he passes away. Well, those children have a right to be taken care of, but that other woman who is on the outside may have some intentions against you because he lived with you. These things can be so complicated. And if we go with the natural, traditional way, it's not as complicated. And granted, each parent in this high vibrational unit that I'm talking about, and union that I'm talking about, they're going to have their issues in life.
Right.
They may not be vibrating 100%. I'm not saying that each parent is doing so, but when you have that synergistic connection of a man and a woman, male and female, there's nothing more powerful than that union in the universe. That's the only union that could bring life. That's the only union that could bring life.
But that's not the only way to bring life in reference to the whole. Cause see, now we're talking about bringing life. So are we talking about, because the love doesn't bring the life. Well, ultimately, in the spiritual aspect, the love doesn't bring the life. I mean, love brings life, of course. It's life-giving and life-bringing, love is. But on a egoic, physical, material level, a lot of children were born out of lust and was still here. Wasn't no love there. It was just the ass was fat, and I wanted the cat, and she threw it back, and I black-a-vellied up all up in that. Boom, it happened. So the children were created. So once again, is it the love? That's why I'm saying I'm confused here, because it seems as if though you're trying to tie this in a way to where it's like you're being very vague about these certain things, where it just makes it seems like as anything that's not male and female together ain't gonna work. Even though you have couples like Anderson Cooper and Benjamin Masani, and there are also black gay same gender loving families and partners and couples and relationships. There's one called the Real House Dads of New York, two black gay men raising children who are having successful, long lasting, monogamous covenant relationships that you are saying only vibrate to that extent between a man and a woman. See, once again, there is something there. You talking about something missing? Yes, there's something missing in this puzzle that does not make sense. Because if it made sense, I would have no problem admitting that it makes sense. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be ignorant, but sir, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Let me get ASMR. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. I'm asking you to please drop the link so that I can understand where you're coming from, sir. What you say in the comments? Let's see. Y'all, we almost done with the video, y'all. We 19 minutes and 43 seconds in, so we good. Bro Key says, why is that though? Like, why that is though? Why is it gonna be harder for black women? I feel like this all points to back to straight black men. Why don't they care for of their children and families? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Now I know that there are good black men out there who do the damn thing, who may have fell in love with somebody or was connected to somebody who was broken and wasn't doing the work, and now they feel like they're stuck in this, but they're still strong enough in who they are to learn to love their child, even though they're the other partner that came in the equation came nowhere, pun intended, in the equation to produce this child is going crazy, and I don't want to be with that crazy ass. I don't want to be with that dysfunctional ass or whatever. They are still able to see the God in the message, in the mess of what was going on. There are black women who are getting, see, once again, it's about loving yourself. When you love yourself, all these other things will come to you. Because it also seems as if though after a certain type of time, black women then become undesirable when they get older. When you have black women that are defying time without cosmetics, without BBLs, they just are in a natural loving flow, and they understand that flow in such a way to where they found the eternal youth fountain of life. It's possible. Like I said, there are people who have certain perspectives, but that perspective ain't the only perspective. You have a decision, and we have a decision. You do make a decision, but you have a choice to decide what you believe. You can believe what other people are saying, or you can believe things for yourself and live your life. Because even though Lance might be giving his commentary on Anderson Cooper and Benjamin and Van and Miss Ian, they're living their lives. Okay, they're living their lives, and they've made the decision. They've came together, and they're in the public eye, so they're going to be scrutinized regardless. So if you're in the public eye and you choosing to have a child and still work on the love part with your child, despite what other people are going to say about your child, that's some strong shit to do. Meanwhile, there are a lot of black family members out there that if they find out their kid is gay, they're going to have a damn stroke. Please make it make sense. Let's be honest. Hetero black men always blame everyone else for the destruction of black people, but never point the finger at themselves. Y'all are literally the problem. I'm not going to say they are literally the problem, but they play a part. They play a big part in the problem. See, everybody is responsible. Everybody is responsible. There are some gay men and all that type of shit, trans women that are held responsible in the destruction of it. There are people that are accountable in this. And we have to look at it deeper. The reason why all this death and destruction is happening within our own community and we're crying out for someone outside of us to save us is really teaching us to pay attention to ourselves on the inside and to save ourselves first before we do anything. But in order for us to save ourselves, we have got to be honest. And like I've said before, as Black people, I understand that we're tired, we're stressed the hell out, we're trying to figure shit out. So you want us to deal with the 500 plus years of slavery and the effects, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the generational curses that we had to experience dealing with poverty and ignorance and all this other type of stuff. And then on top of that, you want me to also do some inward work too? I is tired, bitch. I've been doing shit for 500 plus years, bitch, for a damn country that does not want to pay me for what it is that I'm old, girl. And you want me to sit here and do some inner work too? And the universe is looking them in their face and saying, bitch, yes, that's exactly what I want you to do. Because only in that way will you find your power. And when you find your power, in the words of Beyonce, they'll never take my power. And they're going to feel some type of way, bitch. Oh, wow. And you can't be mad that there are certain people in the world who are not allowing the energies and vibrations of ignorance and fear of other people in the world affect them in such a way to where they believe it. Because like I said, it's about what you believe. But that's okay. Until we really start having these real ass conversations, all these things that they're talking about, all these problems that they say that they're having, and all this other type of stuff is only going to get worse because you're the main one that's not choosing to face what's going on. Because a part of your identity is already constructed from what you've been told to believe, and you are so afraid of your identity crumbling. When in actuality, the things that are being crumbled away from your the things that are crumbling away from your life are things that do not serve you, and not just serve you, but does not serve the collective and the whole. Because when you love yourself, you have an overabundant, overflowing kind of love to where you share from your overflow. You start connecting with other people. You try to figure things out. There are people in the world, there are white men right now who have been clanned up ever since they was born. They gave birth on the Confederate flag, okay? Already indoctrinated the damn baby into the KKK, white Aryan Brotherhood. All this stuff was raised deep in the damn teachings of racism. All that type of stuff, and believed it in such a way to where this nigga damn near was the Grand Dragon, climbed all the way up. And it's so funny that he could have spent all those years in ignorance and hate and fear from what he's been taught, and then go out into the world and find a Black person that shook him so much to where it's like, I would kill you, but if I kill you, I feel like your message will ring even louder in my head. Because getting rid of you, ignoring you, acting like you're not there and hating you doesn't do anything but make you stay in my mind longer and ring louder. To the point to where this man over time renounced being the Grand Dragon of the clan. And this is a real story. I forgot the name of the guy who did it, but if you type in Google clan Grand Dragon clan makes friends with Black man. And the Black man tells a whole story about how that happened. You want to know why? Because there are some people who end up thinking outside the box, and the universe will put them face to face to what it is that you're saying. You saying you know what you're talking about. You saying what you know is true. You saying all this stuff, and the universe gonna say, okay, well, guess what? It's time for you to pull up and to actually prove that. And I'm telling you, as a same gender loving Black man, I don't understand, and I'm the one that's gay. If what you saying is true, I should be able to say, yep, he right. I mean, he right. Yeah, he right. Y'all, he right. I mean, y'all, yeah, he right. Y'all, come on, y'all. Come on. No. There is some sort of level of ignorance that you have to LGBT. Point blank and period. And you have every right to remain and to waddle and wade in the waters of ignorance if you want to. but you will be doing yourself a disservice in reference to your community building and your I can't even say the word, Lord. Humanitarianism. Sometimes I stumble over my words and shit because I talk fast. My mind be moving fast. But y'all, let's get into the rest of this video, and then I'm gonna look at the rest of the comments, and then we're gonna be done. Okay, we 19 minutes into 25-minute video. Let's finish this.
I'm not hating on any one of these people that I mentioned, Van Jones or Anderson Cooper. But please tell me if you don't agree with me, that's okay. I really want to hear from those that don't agree with me. Tell me why
No, you don't.
Anderson Cooper's union is vibrating as high as a male-female committed, loving relationship, committed, faithful, all that good stuff.
Just because it's male and female doesn't mean it's the most loving, the most high vibrating, especially if they don't love themselves. But once again, self-love is not exclusive to heterosexual people. So if Anderson Cooper and Benjamin Masani is doing what the hell they need to do in order to love themselves so they can understand the accountability and responsibility that comes with bringing another life force into this world that's going to make its own choices and learn how to adapt it to them and through them in love, then hell yeah, it vibrates just as high. Are you kidding me?
When they bring a child into the world and compare it to the Van Jones situation where we're just two friends who just want to become conscious parents. And with Van Jones, is this a way of covering it up that maybe he had a friend and they had a little fling together and they had a child and we got to call it something, we got to save face? Could that be it? Would people take the whole conscious parenting thing that they hear, because this seems like it's going to be a new term? TMZ ran it, and that's the push of what they want to say. Again, the media will blur the lines of what has been traditional in nature. Blurring the lines of what has been traditional in nature.
Traditional.
We choose all kind of things.
Traditional.
And little children, if you let them feed themselves, they'll eat pizza, hamburgers, candy, milkshakes, all kind of stuff all day. That is not going to bring them the nutrition that they need. They'll get the calories. They'll be full, but they'll be overfed and undernourished. Anderson Cooper and his partner can bring and give everything materialistically to that child. But what will that child be undernourished in on a spiritual level? That's something deep from when you're suckling your mother's breast and you hear your father's voice across the room. Those deep subconscious things that form us to be who we are. Tell me, can that type of union on both sides, Van Jones and Anderson Cooper, and you can itemize it and go in specifically, and we will have a show on this if you'd like to. Let me know if you want to do it.
We want the show, Lance. Lance, we want the show. I'm letting you know right now, we want the show. We want the show. You just said you want to talk to the people who have a different perspective than you. We want the show. Like I said, I've been asking you, sir, to drop the link countless times. Excuse me. I asked you to drop the link countless times, sir. And to no avail. To no avail. Okay? Once again, you have an opportunity to have that conversation. And I'm low-key preparing myself for something that may not even happen. And when I say may not even happen, I'll say this. There was a certain video that I was a part of. There was a certain mystic who ended up doing a live with LanceScurv. And the name of that live on LanceScurv's channel is called Homos and Hoteps. Homos and the Hoteps. I suggest that y'all go back and y'all go listen to that video. Okay? There is a possibility that if you watch the whole entire thing, that the way it ended towards the middle part in the end is going to happen if he has this show. But y'all, I am willing to go through that. Because first of all, I'm just giving information. Other information that y'all may not be privy to. And just because you don't know about it does not mean that it's not real and that it does not exist. That is when you end up doing what is known as your research to verify these things. But we also have to understand that people's lives and experiences are also verified. Just like y'all like to pull up all the people who've been molested and has sexual abuse and all this stuff or whatever, who maybe, who I can say maybe, who, yes, through their pain, through the unhealed trauma, unresolved trauma, they ended up expressing that same type of reality they experienced onto other people. But then there are also people, okay, who are also so aware in who they are that are yeah, they're able to be accountable for what it is that they've been through and realize, yes, I can't be held responsible for what people have brought into my life or what has came into my life, but I have the responsibility of cleaning up whatever mess is left in my life residually that I'm experiencing. And there are some people who get to such a level of awareness that yes, they can go and do other things and show up and show out, and love be expressed through that in the same exact way that you're expressing and sharing what your experience of love happens to be with your family. I understand that wholeheartedly because once again, I've come and came from a a heterosexual two-parent household that is still together to this day, still loving each other, still growing. Okay, let me finish the video, y'all. Come on, we almost done. Shit.
Or if you want to give me a call and I record you
We want
and
the
put you
video
out there for what you feel. I'm fair that way. And you don't have to agree with me, and I'll do it. You know I've done it before. I'll do it again. But I really would like to know if you can kind of see how they're pushing every other type of union except those that are traditional in nature.
Wow.
They always bring the drama to the forefront when there's some
oh, let me finish. Oh, I want to say
dysfunction
something.
going on in a heterosexual relationship, but they push everything else like it's sheer perfection, and it's going against.
Ooh, you just, I gotta pause. You just said something there. You just said something that told on yourself. Why is it that y'all show, basically, why is it that y'all show our shit, but act like y'all shit is perfect? Well, for one, there's been a big part in our lives where we didn't have the opportunity to be on platforms like heterosexual people. We had to be in the shadows. So of course, in the shadows, we watched. And we all and some of y'all relationships have been cautionary tales for us to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna make that decision. Yep, I'm not gonna do that. Yep, and decided to do something different to where they learned from it. The question is, are y'all ready to learn from y'all mistakes? That is the thing. See, if y'all actually heal from y'all shit, then it don't matter what other people say about y'all because y'all know who y'all are. But it seems like there's a lot of insecurity going on around here. It seems like it's a lot of conformity around here. It seems like it's a bunch of Let me stop. I told y'all I'm not trying to cuss on this particular commentary. Now, my other type of stuff is different. I'm about to say something. Ooh, let's finish this video and then we can look at the comments and then we out.
All things natural and traditional. How is it that in the last few decades, more so now, and gaining steam and momentum, that these things are pushed, and there's so many of us out here who know better, but we just accept it and pass it on to the next generation, and they are left to figure it out, even though they haven't come up in perfect situations. Even like again, I say that the individuals involved may have had their own issues, but there's nothing that beats two who are committed to each other that want to raise a child together, and they are committed to each other and in love, which the love for the child is no problem because they're committed to each other and building that home. I just want to say I'm looking forward to your comments. Much love. Share, like, and comment, and let's get this discussion going. Much love to you all. Peace.
Amen. Amen. Shout out to Brother LanceScurv for his commentary and what he believes. I'm about to put a little bit of music on the background myself before we get up out of here, but I want to say my lasting thoughts. I want to read these comments. Come on, this damn controller, bro. Put this down, son. For 50 years, tradition has been happening, and now the homosexuals have come through, bitch, and have destroyed it. Oh my God, run for the hills. Okay, look at these comments, and I'm gonna get my lasting thoughts. Let me sit down here, y'all. This fucking mic is loud as hell. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully my shit ain't glitching and doing all that type of shit, y'all. Hold on. Let me see. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where are we at, y'all? Okay. Shout out to Roki. And then on top of that, I suggest that y'all go over there and watch the video for yourself and also share your comments. He wants us, he just said in the video that he wants individuals who have a different perspective to let him know. So I want for those who are riding with BubzDaGawd in reference to bringing awareness and understanding for other people who are asking for it. I want us to do our part, y'all. This is our chance for us to educate. And I'm proud of us as Black, same gender loving people, as LGBT people of color, finding our courage and our strength in who we are. And once again, we're dealing with a community of Blackness which is still dealing with pain. We are still dealing with 500 plus years of not just physical but mental and emotional and spiritual abuse. And we live in a society where they don't really care about our well-being, which means we have to care about our well-being, which means that there are people in the community who are learning to heal, who have healed, who understand love and want to help other people thrive in their lives in all different walks. Because guess what, Lance? You're not going to be able to reach a certain group of people like I am, and I'm not going to be able to reach a certain group of people like you do. But it's about us coming together and reaching those people if we really about community. That is the thing at this fucking point. When they go out and fuck every person they meet and get them pregnant then disappear, it's us that help take care and raise their children and lift up the mothers. Yes, like I'm saying, like there are parents right now, heterosexual people, who have had the power and the privilege of having the power to bring children into this world, since we're talking about the natural conception of children into this world, who abuse that power so much to the point to where now your child shows up in the world dysfunctional because you didn't work on your stuff. So we're talking about dysfunctional, and then ends up portraying that same energy of dysfunction to other people. So my thing is, if we're gonna play this game of calling people out, we got to call everybody out. It has to be a whole 360. But I think for a lot of Black men, it's gonna be hard for them to accept what they have allowed to happen too, because they were the ones who did not do the work. You want to be treated like a king, but yet you're not doing any kingdom building within yourself in order to be a king. And then you use fear and violence and intimidation, the same tactics used by the oppressor that we want so desperately to help us, still use that same tactics. It's hyper masculine, to where anything feminine coming from a man is deemed as undesirable and must be destroyed on sight. That is what the perspective is. And then you feel some type of way when there's people in the world who still show up despite all of what you believe life should show up for them, having a whole different experience. And then when those people come to you and actually try to tell you about it, you don't even believe it. You don't even believe it. It's too good to be true. Well, guess what? You can believe that, but I'm living this reality, and you're not finna be mad at me because I chose to live this reality. All right. Okay. Where we at? Let's see. Here we go. I'm gonna read all your comments, I promise. Literally, almost every Black family has that uncle everyone knows is gay but doesn't address it. That all the kids love and does everything for everybody. We're trying to hold y'all families together. Exactly. And then y'all be thinking we the ones sitting here touching your damn kids and shit. But it really be the R. Kellys of the family, girl, that you will allow to come to the damn family reunion and all this shit, but just don't have the kids go next to him. And it's factual what he did. But you having these damn nightmarish ass fantasies about my gay ass doing all this stuff. You looking at the wrong individual. Now, I'm not trying to say that everyone doesn't share blame, but a large chunk of responsibility falls on, it's like I said, it's on all of us. We make up individually, we make up the community. All of us. We got to make sure that we are good in order for other things outside of us to resonate on a higher level and vibration of love, which once again, love is inclusive. Love is about figuring things out. I've been reading these books and stuff, and all these books, these different beliefs and all these different ways of expressing this thing, this idea has a common thing for me, which is love. When you love people for real, you're willing to get to know them. You're willing to find the human part in them and honor the human part, but also honor the God in them as well. However that expression shows up, to see the God in them. But if you don't see the God in yourself, how the hell are you going to see the God and the goddesses in other people? They love to talk about the destruction of black families, but they even want to be with black women. Yep. With that title, I don't know if I can listen to a bunch of foolishness. No, it's okay. We're going to have that conversation. We're going to talk. The universe is going to set up a way for us to have a conversation. Because that's what y'all asking for. I mean, y'all literally sitting here and y'all are saying, oh, we want people who don't agree, people who don't understand, people who have all this other type of stuff. Why don't y'all come on and tell us? But we're not going to tell you from the comment section, because then you're going to be able to sit here and read what you want to read. No. We're going to have this conversation so you can hear my voice, my vocal inflections, and all that stuff. And then when other people watch the video, they're going to be challenged by my perspective as well, or the perspective of other people, to say, you know what, let me do the research. Let me not listen to what I've been told, what people have told me, I haven't seen with my own eyes, and all the other type of stuff. Let me hear other people's perspectives and opinions. I mean, hell, we want white people to do that, don't we? We've been trying for the longest time to get white people to understand us, and we've been doing things peacefully. We've been talking, we've been marching, we've been having conversations in the events and conventions and all this other type of stuff, trying to have these conversations for real, and all that type of stuff. They don't want to hear it. I'm telling you, as a black man who understands blackness, but is also LGBT, y'all are low-key giving that same type of energy of la 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 la. I got my fingers in my ears. I don't hear y'all la 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 la. But then complain about shit that y'all are allowing to happen and that y'all are playing part in. And see, spiritually, where we're going now, baby, it's about truth. And if you can't handle the truth, baby, I don't know what's going to happen to you. It's better you learn about the truth now and walk in your truth now, because it's going to come out. And a lot of black men are going to feel some type of way, but I hope that black men will learn to work through their emotions. It's hard for them to already work through their emotions anyway, because they've been told from a very young age, we're talking about young things, that, oh, men don't cry, stop being a little bitch, stop being a little punk, stop being a sissy, stop being all these things. And then you have black men who don't know how to deal with their emotions, except for the lower vibrational ones, which means, bitch, let me destroy some shit, let me conquer some shit, let me fuck some shit. Those common things. Y'all, there are some people, here's the thing, there are some people who do want to understand. There are some people who do want to learn. There are some people who do want to make a change in their damn life. I think another person that would be awesome for LanceScurv to have on the show, who is also a heterosexual brother and also understands LGBT plus situations and issues and can see the synchronicities in that, is motherfucking Conscious Lee. Why not have Conscious Lee, sir, on your platform to talk about these things? He's a fellow a heterosexual brother in vaginal Christ. Okay, hallelujah. He understands. He loves women the way that you love women and all this other type of stuff. Why not have him on the platform? That's another person that you can understand in the realm of heterosexuality that maybe you exclude my commentary from, because I admit that I'm same gender loving. So there's a certain level of exclusion. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That would be an awesome commentary and conversation. That's that every time I flip the channel, it's a bunch of gay people. It's not. You're just not used to seeing it. I bet he can't even name 5 LGBT. No, he can't. No, he can't. No, he can't. And then on top of that, you can always change the channel. Gay people not everywhere. Y'all are everywhere. That's the thing. Like, we understand that there are not just heterosexual expressions in the world. It's just y'all not ready to deal with LGBT people out of y'all own ignorance. And we telling you that if that's how you feel, that's between you and white Jesus, black Jesus, Hotep Jesus, whoever Jesus it is. It's between y'all. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You just gonna have to stay mad, but you're not gonna stop my blessings. You're not gonna stop me from showing up in the world and loving in a very higher vibrational way that you can't understand. Because if you really walking in love, you'll be able to see the love in it, as opposed to trying to tear it apart. See, you feel some type of way because some of these quote unquote new relationships and all this stuff are actually working out a lot longer than a lot of y'all's. All of a sudden, we got Rico in the building. Bitch, you know you made it when Rico in the building, because Rico, you got to catch Rico. What's going on? That's the problem with the in the community. We don't want to talk about these things. Oh, but guess what? Ready or not, here we come. We here. We gonna hear and see y'all talking, but y'all ain't saying nothing. But when we come around, y'all don't want to post up. The fuck? Our community is literally at the bottom of the society, and people are still worried about people's sexuality. Yes, because it gives. See, and that's why I said when it comes to black people, when it comes to our community, once again, like I said, we're dealing with 500 plus years of emotional, mental, and spiritual abuse. We were lost. Who we were taken away from us. We were given a false identity. But one thing about black people that I once again strengthen within us that is true is that we know how to survive. 500 plus years, we know how to survive. But black people, we have to get to a point to where we can start living. We already know what survival look like. And spiritually speaking, metaphysically speaking, with the age of Aquarius, there is opportunities to shift the tides in the favor of what we're owed. Because like I said, karma gonna be coming to everybody, good and bad karma. That's why I said now, like I said, if you pay attention, there's a certain level of black awareness. There's a certain level of black renaissance that is happening. It's a lot of things in blackness that is changing, that is helping black people look within themselves to find healing within themselves. That's what our ancestors know. That's why they were connected to Mother Earth, Mother Nature. They were connected because they knew, they had that feeling, they had that understanding that when you take from Mother Earth, you give back to her. You respect her. And there are some people who still have that respective love for each other that show up in other type of ways besides just heterosexual. But black people, we are so hurt to where it's like we are so ready for everybody to do the work for us. We didn't did the work for 500 plus years, bitch. We didn't build the country. Our blood, sweat, and tears went into this goddamn country. We didn't built the damn White House, and y'all turned around and told us when them niggers are done, call it the White House. We've dealt with all of that. We've dealt with police killing us. We've dealt with all this stuff. We are tired. But see, black people, we are at a good place with that. Because what's happening is that we're getting tired of having other people outside of us validate that. And we're getting to a place to where we're saying, fuck that shit, bitch. I validated within me. And that's what they don't want us to do. So when LanceScurv had these conversations and says this stuff that really is ignorant, and then you don't offer any sort of platform or extension for people to come on to help bring balance to the conversation about things that you don't understand because you are not same gender loving, you're defeating the purpose of community, sir. And you are a very community minded individual. And I appreciate that about you. But you have the opportunity to make that better as well. And if what you're saying is true and it's genuine and it's real and it's authentic and I'm the one that's crazy, then why not have me look crazy on a platform to where now what you said is validated? Because at the end of the day, the truth is going to reign, right? Like, regardless of what I feel, what people think, truth is truth, correct? So why not come together and allow truth to be just that? Why not just come together, throw the cards up and let them fall however they may? I'll try to watch it. When it starts to get too stupid, I gotta turn off. That's fine, but I'm saying if you're gonna watch the video, just leave the comment down there like we want the video, we want the commentary, we want the commentary. We want you to do this video because we want to talk about it. You asking us? We heard y'all was looking for us. Be here we go. We right here. We pulled up. Let's talk. They would literally sell the rest of us up the river all for a piece of non-black cat. Okay. I don't trust some black heterosexual men. They're literally the main source of the problem. And see, we need to have those conversations. And I feel like black men need to have other conversations like that with black men who deal with heterosexuality. I'm not a heterosexual black man. I like niggas. It is what it is, and niggas like me. Amen. Okay, so I feel like there needs to be more. Like, why are we not having these type of conversations? And maybe Lance does, because I don't watch everything that Lance do. Like I said, when it come to LGBT and black, and he say something, I'm gonna be there. But everything else, that has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, are we having those real ass conversations about that too? Because, like I said, all these things that are happening, all these problems are stemming from a place of insecurity and not feeling like they're enough. So now they have to compensate by doing all this other type of desperate, destructive shit outside of themselves in order to fill voids in their lives that they're afraid to fucking face. And you can't be mad that there are some people who are gay who are willing to face their shit. And it's not our fault that y'all feel some type of way, because it's like, damn, if a gay man, especially a feminine gay man, black gay man, can walk out in this world and show up who he is regardless, what does that say about me? And I'm the one that has the privilege to be who I am. Well, actually, you really can't even be who you are. You have to be a stereotype and conform to what quote unquote black men is supposed to be, when we as black people are still trying to find our damn selves. Everybody, see, there's a new shift happening where people are not falling for those same type of ideas. Oh, my granddaddy and my grandmother and all of them had them things. Yeah, they did that shit to survive. Now we're to a place where we have to live, and the next generation has to do better than the previous one. And no tea, no shade. We're thankful for what the generation behind us has done. But damn, bitch, what was y'all doing then? Because if y'all was doing what y'all was supposed to be doing and y'all had all the fucking answers, this generation wouldn't have to work twice as hard. But eventually a generation comes to where they say, you know what, we're done with this shit. We're done with this shit. And yeah, grandma and grandpa been together for this damn long, but did they really love each other? Or was granddaddy a Rolling Stone too? Because like I said, if we're gonna play this game about all these different alternate things, let's do the whole thing. Let's do the whole thing. Because ain't nobody perfect in this situation. But it's about finding those flaws, addressing those flaws, those ignorant spaces and places and viewpoints, to bring forth clarity, to establish a foundation of understanding, and then build upon that so that we can really fucking change shit. Because there is nothing outside of us that's going to save us except ourselves. And 2020 showed us that when it sat all of our asses the fuck down. Now, you ain't got to listen if you ain't want to, but bitch, I heard the call, and bitch, I'm going to do my part. If you don't want to do your part, if you want to still be ignorant to what you want to believe and all the other type of stuff, do you. That's your life. I ain't going to stop you, but I got it. And whatever accountability and responsibility comes to me from that situation, that's on me. But guess what? It's the same thing for you, bruh. You're not exempt. And thank you, Rico, if you're still in the building. Shout out to you. It's between them and white Jesus. The true father has nothing, okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, now we're in a place where we have to figure out who we are. And there are people in the world who are not waiting for other people to tell them who they are. They know who they figure that out themselves. They figure that shit out themselves. So I thank y'all for rocking with me for this commentary. If you want to, if you came in late, you are definitely welcome to check the playback on this. I also ask that y'all go over to LanceScurv's channel, to his video, like the video I have here, the title, whatever. That's the name of his video. Go over there and share your comments. Like I said, he's asking for us to share our thoughts. He said he wants to hear from the people that don't agree. He wants to hear from the people that don't understand. And this is the opportunity for us to establish a form of communication and understanding. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and do that. What you say, Roki? Grandma and granddaddy stayed together for so long because grandma didn't have nowhere to go if she left. And that is a fact. Oh, like I said, a lot of truth is coming out. A lot of truth is coming out. Because like I said, there comes a level of survival. And sometimes when we don't love ourselves, we'll become desperate and do things that are not destructive, not only to us, but to other people as well. And like you said, there are some people who stay because they have nowhere else to go. See, it's a lot of different things. There are so many different alternatives and perspectives and ways of it. It's kind of like if everybody it's 5 of us in the comment section right now, right? That's like if 5 of y'all sat down and y'all all read the same book. Not everybody's going to come to the same consensus. Not everybody's going to come to the same understanding. That's because somebody is going to see something in a different perspective that broadens the mind and creates a larger area, a gray area for people to grow. Because once again, love is inclusive, which means it includes you. It sees something in you that it resonates with, and it focuses on that as opposed to the lines of division that are so clearly in your face. And then you feel some type of way when the lines are being blurred. Yeah, the lines are being blurred because now you're called to a higher level of understanding. Now you're being called to a higher level of awareness. And it's like Dragon Ball Z. Don't you know when they be fighting real fast and you can't blink? If your eyes itchy, get you some clear eyes. Wow, and clear your eyes out. But there's some of us that are watching the fight and can see exactly what's going on. That's not my fault. Literally, if you ask your grandmother that are very old, have had no reasons to keep lying, they will tell you that. Well, that's true. I'm grateful for my grandma. I don't know about my dad's side, grandma, but my mom's side, it was love there, and that's why I get all this spiritual knowledge shit from now with all these damn books and stuff. So I'm thankful for her. But regardless of what happened, regardless of what we've been through, what we've done, what we're thinking about doing, what we're gonna do, like there is something in it for you that benefits you. And when it benefits you and you accept it in such a way, it becomes so abundant to where you can share that with other people. And like I said, this is the time to have conversations because what's coming to this world in reference to our frequency and vibration collectively with all this fear and shit, we're going to manifest all that stuff. But there are going to be some of us in the world in the midst of chaos and confusion that have a clear head and a clear mind and will be able to bring people into the present moment so that they can survive and move forward and live their best life. And everybody's going to go through that. That's why everybody going to be shook. White supremacy is being shook. Blackness is being shook. Homophobia is being shook. Transphobia is being shook. Xenophobia is being shook. Any type of fear, ignorance, lies, confusions, fallacies, distractions, all these things are being destroyed and being torn down. And the only thing that's going to stand is the truth. And you have a choice and the right and the privilege at any moment in time to walk in that. And that's going to be scary because, once again, in the West, we live in a society that is afraid of objective, raw, in your face truth. It's too abrasive, it hurts too much. But if you work through the pain, if you work through the fear and see the fear for what it is, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. Once you see that fear is fake and you work through that, you find your power and your strength to where no one can take that away from you. And then you can become a deliberate creator and actually create heaven on earth. But it starts with you first. And a lot of shit got to get worse before it get better. That's just how it is. Look, you see, talking about nature and shit. That's why when winter comes, there's so much depression and sadness because winter is a season of loss. Everything has been lost. The leaves, everything's dead, all this type of stuff. But we also realize if you look at it, there's beauty in that because it means that something new is happening that is still beautiful, that is still potent, that is still powerful, that is still patient, and that is still flowing in love. You don't see motherfucking spring and winter fighting with each other. Now it is trying to get your damn attention. See, we're talking about nature. Nature even acting up. Nature responding to us. Responding to us because we are the ones that are not in balance and flow with love, which keeps the universe, which keeps Mother Nature fed and satisfied. We become too selfish with each other and we're not giving to each other. And it's hard to give to other people when your ass is insecure and you going through shit in your life. Of course, it's going to be hard. Duh. And your promised days of struggles. But bitch, you ain't gotta just struggle. Struggle. You ain't gotta struggle the whole time. I'm supposed to be off this shit. Marriage is back in the day that these men like to fetishize were not about love. They were about the man having property and the women and children were his property, of course, and how it's viewed. How it's viewed when you deal with being ostracized and demonized for so long, you want some sort of control in your household. And when you've been experiencing all this horrible shit, you try to find a way to assimilate that into your life. Because if these unions between black men and women were so exclusive and powerful and so high vibrating, then none of this stuff that has manifested in the reality in our world objectively would not be happening. A lot of these black women would not be baby mothers, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 12, 45, wouldn't be all of that. There wouldn't be holes in different area codes. A lot of these women would be queens, even if that means having a harem of queens that you take care of. Because like I said earlier in the commentary, historically speaking, there's been kings and queens that had 4 wives, 5 wives, 10 wives, had all that, and they had the capacity to love him, and he was able to love them and satisfy them in the way that they were meant to be satisfied. It's about finding out what the hell you want. Damn, what do you want? And get what you want. And don't be mad at other people getting the shit that they getting, but you ain't get yours yet. It's coming, bitch. Just pay attention to yourself. That's all you gotta do. Make sure you good first before you do anything. But y'all coming with the y'all come with the comments now when I'm ready to get off. Cause I was happy. I was looking at the video. I said, yes, it's 25 minutes. This ain't an hour or something long. Cause God, if it's look, I done did almost 2 hours worth of commentary over 25 minutes. Just imagine if that shit was an hour and a half, 2 hours long. I would have still been in the damn video. But anyway, I thank y'all for coming through for the commentary. Thank y'all for sharing y'all thoughts. Share the video, please. Like the video. And go over to LanceScurv. Support him. Like I said, he's not a bad person. My commentary is not meant to criticize him unfairly, to destroy or what the fuck? Destroy or assassinate his character. It's not meant to do any of that whatsoever at all. Okay? But it's meant to offer contrast and balance to the conversation so that black people we can manifest what we desire and what we deserve. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be free in love. We deserve to experience life. We deserve to experience all the things that were robbed from us or that we have allowed to be robbed from us, because now we're finding our awareness and finding our way back. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep challenging. Keep thinking. I appreciate LanceScurv's alternate perspective, because now iron's going to sharpen iron. And apparently we're going to cut something that's going to really show what's really going on. And we're going to be able to connect even more as a community. For real, for real. So thank y'all. I really appreciate it. Make sure y'all check me out on my social medias. And until next time, everybody, peace and love. BubzDaGawd is signing out. See y'all.